Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Comics Unchained. I'm your host Sergio Sanchez, and with me, as always, is my co-host Indiana Leon,
Hello.
and joining us, the voice from beyond, is Crystal Roy. Crystal, say a little something.
Hello, you
All
guys.
right.
Cristal.
As always, guys, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, and subscribe. We are new to this, so join us for the adventure. And we're going to take a look at some comic books this week that we thought were really good. That if you're going in the comic shop looking to drop that money, that big stimmy money.
The big stimmy. Still haven't gotten it, by the way, but yeah.
But so we got some great picks for you this week. So let's take a look at it. This week we're going to be looking at, what's the first book we're looking at today?
Yours.
Oh
Yeah.
that's right. Issue 1, The Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade. And I look off to the side so I can, look at my
I had
comics.
no
that are
idea this
sitting
was
right in
even
front of me.
coming out, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Dude,
So I'm very surprised.
Okay, so I'm like, really? The Black Knight?
Right.
This fucking character? I'm like,
I don't know what this is.
it's
You're going to learn
Oh
today.
my god. The first page.
Oh, she's appearing from beyond.
yeah.
Oh no.
So issue 1 just dropped this week, so you can pick it up. It's in stores right now. This was done, and I'm gonna screw this name up because I can barely pronounce it as it is. It's C. Spurrier.
Spurrier sounds right.
Yeah,
That sounds like a real name.
Yeah. So and Jesus Saez are doing the artwork. Sea Spirits, it's extra stuff on like Edge of the Venomverse, Dr. Alpha. So he's been writing some stuff. Definitely has like some tie-ins with the Black Knight coming in from, as you guys know, played a big role in Kingdom Black. So it's pretty interesting that you're getting this book now. But one of the first things I liked about it was it's kind of funny. Because he,
Use your words.
use my words, right? So Dane Whitman, who is the Black Knight,
Right.
he, if you don't know what his powers are, he carries around like his sword, and that's kind of what does it. And it's I'd compare him a lot to like Century, where he has like this power, but doesn't
Okay.
the more he uses it, the more enraged he goes. I believe that's the lore of the Black Knight. Now I'm not a freaking expert on it, so you can go on
It's kind of like
Google.
Hellstorm, too, from
Yeah,
DC
so
a little bit, yeah.
and like only he can hold the blade, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like think like Excalibur kind of ish from what I saw in the book. Mind you, I'm not a huge like Black Knight reader, so it's like kind of hard for me to like describe that really great for you for the character. There are plenty of you can Google, you can YouTube some videos that you want to watch and get what you're staring at. But yeah, so in the beginning of the book though, it's really funny. There's like comedic stuff. So like when he first shows up to help the Avengers who are fighting some monsters in like Central Park or something like that, like the first response, if anything made me laugh more, was Thor looking up and like, oh shit, not this guy. Because like he's not medieval, but he portrays it as the character. So when he puts like his costume and helmet on, he starts using like, thy enemy shall be smited,
Jesus.
and
Oh
like
my god.
Thor is like,
And Thor's
"Are
the
you making fun
one.
of me?"
Yeah.
And like Black Knight's like, nah, dude, this is like kind of my character. And then like he's like trying to hang out with the the Avengers, and like, dude, they just all see him as like this like annoyance. Like he's not a bad person, but he's like that annoying friend that follows you around and skips around you and never shuts the hell up, kind of like me to you, Indy.
Jesus, I don't go that far. But...
So as they're fighting, he's like, "Hey, Cap, you want to get like some drinks and hang out?" And Cap's like, "It's like 10 a.m. in the morning, dude."
Jesus, so he's an
And
alcoholic.
he's like, "All
My
right,
kind of guy.
what about 12?"
Jesus.
So, like, just a few couple of things are reading. So then you find out that like he's fighting with like demons, and trying to keep himself from like going insane from keeping the blade. So that's really cool and an interesting kind of twist on a character I don't know a lot about. Um, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you because we don't do that on the show, but take a look at it. It's a really funny read. The artwork is good for what it is. There's no not a lot of inner monologuing. It's just him talking. But this, if anything, this book is hilarious for the first like 4 or 5 pages where he's fighting with the Avengers, and they're just kind of like mocking him and making because it's everybody making fun of him. It's Captain Marvel,
Oh, poor guy.
it's Black Panther, all like most of the Avengers that are there, and so I mean I would recommend this, especially on issue 1, and you're looking to drop it. This actually for me wasn't that bad spending $4
Right.
to get it. I didn't pick up like a variant cover. I didn't pay anything extra. The variant cover does look pretty awesome, but I didn't get it. And I'm not, particularly like I got the cover with just his face on it.
I
It's
kind
okay.
of like that one. You showed it to me not too long ago, and I like it actually. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's good.
It's kind
I
of old
just
school, you know.
one of the other variant covers though is like super good. It's like him stabbing downwards with the sword. Looks
Oh,
really
okay.
cool.
Definitely Excalibur right
Yeah,
there.
I'm really interested. Like this might be a book I might be reading for a while just because I kind of like how it's written,
Mm-hmm.
the comedic aspect of it. So I'm gonna definitely probably pick up issue 2 when it drops. But yeah, so I'm definitely telling you guys right now, go check out Black Knight issue 1, The Curse of the Ebony Blade, because it's super worth it, man. I mean, like, I actually sat down and I didn't move or anything. I read the whole book in one run,
I'm
Nice.
surprised.
and it takes me forever to read books.
Yes, it does.
I'm so slow. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, definitely worth the $5. So.
Okay.
So next book we're gonna take a look at is issue 1, and I know this has been out for a while, but the event's coming to an end pretty soon here. I think it was April 7th. The last issue comes out, and Crystal decided, hey, I'm gonna go buy them all right now. So she did that. And she wants to take a look at the King in Black, the big event that's going on in Marvel right now.
Yes.
And I'm gonna, before I let her get to what she read and her thoughts on the book, because I'm sure all of you out there have probably read it. Because if you're not right now, you're really missing like kind of one of the best events that's been going on from what I've been hearing all over the internet and all over all my friends, my comic book guy. Everybody's loving this book. I mean, it sells out. It goes. I think it's gone from like first, second, third to fifth prints.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, it's Donny Cates.
I mean, really,
it's hard not to. Yeah.
Cates is writing it, and
Yeah.
I mean, really, right now, anything he's
It's
writing is
Yeah.
And I think I told Crystal that. So
Yes.
so she's gonna take a look at King in Black, and just to get you guys up to speed, there are a few books that she hasn't taken a look at that she's gonna look at later on this week. Probably put the story more together, and we're talking about like going back and looking at 2019's Absolute Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna look at all the stuff leading into the King in Black, which wakes up
tie-in stuff. Yeah.
all the tie-in stuff leading up to King in Black, because there's a lot of tie-in books that go with King in Black, so you gotta look at that. But Crystal, your thoughts on King in Black?
Take it away.
I actually love it. I really do. I am a little bit confused, but I definitely need to go back and read Absolute Carnage to
Right.
like get up there and everything. But I'm the type of person who likes like dark and gory type of comics, and was perfect for me. It wasn't too bad, but it did have some really nice things going on in here.
Like,
well,
You dick.
I don't know if I want to ruin this.
well, I mean, the book's been out at this point, so like,
Hey,
I mean,
give us a little
usually
taste.
we don't give a like spoiler.
Well,
Give us a little taste of the book.
Sentry's dead.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Yes, he was
I
ripped.
low-key forgot.
So there's the gore.
I didn't think that could
one.
happen.
Yes, and
I mean, like
it's very
Sentry's like one of those
interesting.
characters, dude. Like, I mean, dude, this is the guy that went toe to toe with Hulk.
Yeah, he's either
At the end of
1,000% or
Hulk.
he's a piece of shit. Like every time.
I mean, I've never liked the character.
Right.
Period. I've never liked Sentry as a character anyway.
Yeah, he didn't look too
hate
awesome
on me
to
all
me.
you want.
So I'm kind of glad, like, in the next couple of pages, he died instantly. I was like, okay, I don't care about this guy.
Okay.
So I liked it. I really did. Like the ending was kind of a twist.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm super
Twisty.
excited to read number 2, or attempt to read number 2.
Issue. You do have it.
I do have it.
This dude went down. She's like, oh look, King in Black, and they had issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. She's like, I'm gonna buy all these.
They're like
All
one or
right.
two short after that. Might as well.
So it's like cool. So she's caught up. She's ready for issue 5 to drop.
Yes.
So I mean, it's something I want to take a look at. I'm probably gonna steal her comics and read that because I haven't read it. I'm more the guy like with the way. Okay, so let me break something down for you, Indy, and you're gonna kind of fill me on this. And Crystal, you'll hear this for the first time with me. A few of the Marvel events that they've done in the past have left a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh.
And that's because
Absolutely.
like they start off
So good.
super strong, really great, super good, and then like the ending is like, really? That's the ending?
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate those. I hate
Like,
those so
okay,
much.
so like I just invested like my time, my money,
Mhm.
and this is when I was buying variants, Indy, dude. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, all right,
That
damn, I
sucks.
feel bad now. So like,
That's how it
I'm
is.
like, okay, so whatever. But that's why on a lot of the events, guys, I tend to lean more towards waiting for like a compendium to come out, like the whole event,
Yeah.
either in a
Volumes
volume
or
or a trade paperback, and then I read the whole thing and I sit down and I enjoy it. Because I'm also not one of those assholes who goes into a fucking comic book store and it's like, I'm gonna sit here and grab these 4 books and read it so I get caught up.
Oh, I hate people like that.
'cause
Like for me,
it's
when
not a
I first
library.
looked at this, I went through the first
Oh.
5 pages and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this. And then I saw over, it's like there's 2, 3, and 4. It's like, oh yes. So I just
Yes.
grabbed them all.
So
Yeah,
that
that's good.
I'm cool with. Like if you're going through the pages and then you're like
This
I'm
is
talking
it.
about the
Yeah.
guys though. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm talking about the guys though who pick up like I'm gonna pick up issue 1. I read through the whole thing. Oh, issue 2's right there, so I
I'll
read
just
through all
read through
that,
the whole thing.
and
I'm
then
just
I'm
reading
just
the whole
like, oh,
thing.
this
Yeah,
And
has
it's
it's like
issue
stupid.
right
3,
there.
so I'm
It's
just
like,
gonna leave
come
it.
on.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of stuff irritates me. So I usually like to wait more on like having the trade paperback come out, dude. Ever since the ending of what was the last event? I mean, God, I would even say like Secret Invasion was bad.
For
The ending
me,
of that.
Fear Itself was really ended
Fear
badly.
itself. Fear
Started
itself.
strong,
Thank
ended
you.
so badly, and I was
Yeah.
so pissed. And
No idea.
then Spider Island, I think, ended badly too. I didn't like the way
Oh
Spider
yeah,
Island
that
ended.
was a really good
And it
one. I
was
remember a
good.
lot of people talking really good stuff on that.
It was really good until the end. But that's Slot for you.
Yeah.
He fucks things up. Sorry, Slot. He does though. He liked Amazing
And I do.
Spider-Man too, the
Like,
movie,
does he
so
just
I don't give him
rush
any
it,
breaks
I think?
anymore.
Hold
Like
on.
to get done with it? Does
What?
he just rush it just to get done with it?
It's not like the writers rush it. I think the story's been told and then they slow down on it. I don't know. I'm not a comic
Sometimes
book
I feel
writer.
the publisher's like, hey, when you're wrapping that up, you got to set this up too. Kind of like the way the
So-
movies do. Like the studio will be like,
Yeah.
hey, you got to do this too. And they're like, can I
Okay.
just finish my fucking movie? Or can I just finish
Yeah.
my goddamn comic book? Like,
Like the
please.
Snyder Cut.
Oh, man. What
Oh my God.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's a
Let's sidebar this for a
that's a
second. Hold
yeah. I think that's a podcast for another time. I don't know.
It is, but I gotta say, right now, as of this recording, Snyder Cut hit. I think it was Thursday night.
Yes, Thursday night.
I came home like a dumbass at 8:00. I was like, I gotta work Friday morning, but I'm gonna watch this
You
whole damn
psycho.
thing.
That's I
And
couldn't do it.
damn thing. And I'm gonna. I enjoyed every goddamn second of that thing.
Yeah, it's good.
Every second.
I finally got to see it last night. So that was
Oh, is that what you were doing with
fan-fucking-tastic.
your girlfriend?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good, man. It was solid. We'll get into
Yeah,
it. We'll get
cool.
into it another day.
What?
The
What is
Snyder Cut for
The
Justice
Snyder
League.
Cut.
So
Oh.
they did Justice
Oh, what you were
League.
watching up.
I'm
Got it.
1,000 miles away from you, and I'm about to slap you. What is wrong with you? How
What?
do you not know what the Snyder Cut is? Come on, Crystal. Come on, Crystal.
Like, so like what he's saying is like, so the publishers put out the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they want like, okay, so like who's gonna be the next breakout star in the book? So like you see certain characters show up, certain characters get killed. And then they're like, okay, this character showed up and people loved when his like cameo showed up and he did something epic. Let's make a book based off him. So add a couple more pages towards the end or start bringing him more into the book.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, we didn't really want to do that, and that wasn't our intention, so we're gonna add him now. And then like they bring in like secondary writers or something to
Yeah.
bring
Set
in a
up
character
stuff
Okay.
and
to set up stuff that didn't need to really be there. So
exactly.
it's kind of like the publisher like forcing their will into the book and then
Okay.
changing things. So like they've got to like now take their whole end story where it's gonna wrap, splice it all together, just like in like, and that's why I said like the Snyder cut, whereas like Warner Brothers did this huge cut of the
Mhm.
movie
Yeah.
where it was like, okay, I get it, time constraints, you know, no one's gonna sit in the theater for 4 hours. You're wrong, Warner Brothers, because I would
Yeah.
have.
Absolutely wrong.
But then you get like the director's cut, and you're a Lord of the Rings fan,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Oh,
So you had
yeah.
the regular Lord of the Rings, which are like what 2-3 hour movies.
Yes.
Then you had the director's cuts, which were 4 hours. Something
Yep.
fucking movie.
That's a
Mhm.
So,
whole day
like,
just to watch all three.
That's
Oh,
what it was.
And I
Yeah.
love them.
And so some of the books, some of the entries in the past for the events have happened to that, and it's just kind of been like very lackluster.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
I'm very iffy when it comes to like full writing on an event, and I guess I just wanted to drop that out there. I know you are too, Indy.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. It's frustrating because it's like having the best steak you've ever had. You get to the end, and it's nothing but like uncooked fat, and you're like, why? Why is this happening?
But
Can
I
I
eat
not
That
that
is
just
fat.
my
have
favorite though.
uncooked fat?
The
The
gristle.
fat, the
What?
gristle. Oh my god, I love it.
Dude,
Do
look at
you
these
have both of your legs still? Is that a thing, or like
You got diabetes?
diabetes? Diabetes is not a
Oh,
funny disease, but we're
man.
just saying the word funny. Anyways,
Wow.
so let's go on some lighter tones and talk about the Trials of Ultraman.
Ultraman. Wow.
Ultra, I know,
that
out of
is-
nowhere, right?
I would have. You know what? Okay, when you told me we were going to talk about this week, I was like,
Well, you straight up laughed for one thing.
yeah, it's LOL in the chat. And and I'm one of those assholes who puts like LOL in the chat, even though I'm
Yeah.
not laughing. Like, this is my face. LOL.
Yeah,
It's just straight.
it's for
But-
the embarrassment is what it's really for.
But, no, I actually like laughed at it. I'm like, holy shit. Now, one of my good buddies, Chris, he reads that because he's a huge kaiju fan.
Yeah,
He runs a podcast with his friend Jessica, and they're called the Kaiju Kingdom. And you can find their podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. That's kind of his big thing because, like, I was like Ultraman, and he told me to pick that up, Indy.
you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and boost him on that. You should have, man.
Wow.
It's so here's the thing. The
fuck
initial
Squatch?
Oh, okay.
the initial draw when it came to this for me wasn't necessarily Ultraman, who, just so everybody knows, don't get confused. It's not Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar is scary to look at. Ultraman.
Did you see the remake for Jet Jaguar?
They did a remake for him.
Oh my god, go look at. Okay, go on.
Is he
like,
scarier
Google-
somehow?
Oh no!
He was
no.
horrifying back in the day.
He looks stupider.
Oh, that's
Than
so
the original.
worse.
Because like, if you don't know who Jet Jaguar is, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Same.
So if you don't know who Jet Jaguar is, he's this character that was like a machine.
He's a
that-
child's nightmare, is what he is.
And then
You
what
seen his
happened? Yeah,
face?
go ahead and Google it.
I
And
really
then
feel
Google the
like
new one.
I
and
need
you'll
to.
laugh even
You know
more.
what? I know I'm on
Get into
camera,
it.
but I'm also gonna Google the new one but
Okay.
keep going. Keep
So-
going.
So anyway, let me just make this short before we get back to your comment.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, "Oh, Jet Jaguar is kind of was supposed to be like this rip off of Ultraman." Not really, but if you didn't follow like Godzilla films, it was nice to have like that humanoid figure who fought like and did karate kicks and chops and shit that fought kaiju's. So don't get him confused with Ultraman, I guess is what I'm saying. But Indy, yeah, take a look at
Yeah.
the old Jet Jaguar and to the new one, because what I was gonna say about the new one is he looks like a fucking oven or a washing
Yeah.
machine combined.
With
but,
like
like-
Godzilla's face and some of the old Jet Jaguar. It's horrifying. It's just, I don't understand because if you watch that movie, the
Hold on, I
kid,
gotta find it.
the kid that's in the Jet Jaguar Godzilla movie is like, "This is my best friend," and I'm like, "Dude, that guy's gonna eat you." Like that is like something out of fucking Doctor Who or some shit. Like it's the
Jet
thing that's
Jaguar.
gonna kill you in the episode. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
anyways.
That's the new one.
So yeah, the new one looks even worse somehow.
That's the new version. He
That
looks like a
is-
fucking washing machine.
Is that the old one?
Yeah, he's just
What
a robot that
Yeah,
can
it's
turn really
horrifying.
big. But Ultraman,
But Ultraman is the
so confusing.
like if Jet Jaguar was Kroger, right? Uh, Ultraman
Or great
is
value, dude.
like
Great value.
yeah, no, you know what, you're right. Yeah, Jet Jaguar is great, great value, and Ultraman is like Target premium. You know, like you spent $400 to get it, kind of deal. So, but the initial draw with Ultraman for me was actually the writer, which there might be kind of a theme here, but it's Kyle Higgins again. What a surprise! He's
Ooh.
just good. Kyle Higgins knows what he's doing. He knows how to write a character.
What else did Kyle Higgins write?
So he originally did well, my first introduction with him was back in the New 52 with Nightwing, which was one of the better books the New 52 had for a while. Then he
Yeah,
went
I didn't
over and
read it.
did kind of rebooted Power Rangers over at Boom, and he's done a couple other things throughout the years, but his name's gotten big. At one point he was like, especially in the mid 2000s, he was like Donny Cates is right now. It's like they had to get him on everything, you know what I mean?
I love those writers.
It's true though. There's the writer of like the decade usually. But yeah, he does what he does best. He gives you a relatable character in Shin, who's Ultraman's other half, the human half, right? Because Ultraman himself is like an alien thing,
Yeah.
spirit or whatever that doubles down on a human that he deems acceptable, and then he goes and helps fight the kaijus. What I like about this book is that it's set in the present day. So there's been a couple iterations of Ultraman recently with like the Netflix show, and they're kind of going in the same direction where they're bringing him to the modern day.
Mhm.
Um, they One big thing I really enjoyed about the book was, hey, there is a past here. There was an original Ultraman. We've been fighting kaiju's for years, and now we're in the modern day, and it's actually pretty funny. There's a lot of really good banter between Shin and Ultraman because they're sharing the same headspace. It's kind of like the way um man
Firestorm work.
Firestorm does it. Yeah, I couldn't get that name out, but and
I
it's
look like a
funny,
nerd.
they have good banter
Yeah.
together. Yeah, I was gonna say it if I could remember. um, and then visually, I have to say it does take a little bit of a downturn because I like details. So when you get these really wide open shots and things in the distance kind of lose their detail, and then you get these closer up shots, they're kind of, you know, still a little blurry. I'm sure it's the direction of the art that they want to go with. And it's fine. It's Francisco Firogato, and it's it is what it is. Sometimes
Mhm.
art is a hit or miss for me, but ultimately we have some inner monologue, which is always good, and a
Dude.
relatable character and some funny banter. And with that, for a first issue, I think is good enough to at least get to the second one. I'm not
Wow.
completely sold because for me there wasn't a lot of substance in this first issue,
Okay.
whereas like with Noctera, there was a lot that we featured a week or two ago, and yeah, it just I want to probably do a follow up with this book a little later. I didn't see it really selling out too much, so if you want to pick it up and give it a shot yourself, I wouldn't say no, but at the same time, I'm not going to give it a full on 100% now. I enjoyed it, but I did at times was telling myself, I could probably step away for a sec. I'm going to go eat, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so we'll
Mhm.
see how it goes. I want to see more. Um, and yeah, I hope it gets better.
So, so, so it's one of those things. If you're a fan of like kaiju, Godzilla, stuff
I
like
think you'll
that,
love
you're
it. Yeah.
probably gonna enjoy this book.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if
You'll
you're not,
definitely love it.
then
It's
yeah,
a little bit of a miss for sure.
I mean, it's something I would probably read
I think you
because
dig
I'm a
it.
huge
Yeah.
fan of that. Because like I like Godzilla.
You love
I
Godzilla.
actually read like a lot of stuff that IDW
Yeah.
does for the Godzilla. So like I'm actually waiting for the new series they're gonna be doing.
Yes, I heard about that as well.
Because I want to jump into
Another
that.
point I want to make is that this is a Marvel book. It's not from one of the lower branch, or I wouldn't say lower branches, but under houses or whatever you want. It's an actual Marvel book. So
Right.
if you're looking for it, make sure you look in the Marvel section,
Yeah.
which
You know
was
what?
kind
I
of a
was really
surprise.
yeah, I was gonna say I was surprised on that too because I was like, Marvel has the Ultraman title?
I
What the
guess
hell?
so. Yeah,
I was like, okay,
it surprised me.
whatever. I mean, I did see it. I did pass on it, like you said, hit or miss. I did see it at my comic book. I might take a look at it just to look at it. Um, but it could go either way here or there. So,
Hmm.
Pretty
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you're a huge fan of kaiju, if you're a huge fan of like Godzilla and stuff like that, Gamera,
It's definitely up
um,
your alley. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
definitely probably right up your alley. And if Kyle Higgins is writing it, then it's got to be at least decently good in the writing
Yeah,
department.
I think it has the real potential to build up. Now, I will add that he is co-writing this, and maybe that's where some of my like apprehension comes from with Matt Groom, who I know has done some stuff. I'm not too familiar with it, because I've seen his name. You know, like you
Yeah,
sometimes you just flip through the books and you're like, oh, I see that name a lot. So I'm not too sure, but like I said, I'll keep going for at least, like you said, you got to give it 3. Sometimes I give it 5 because I'm weird like that, but we'll see.
and that's where I'm going with Children
Yeah.
of the Atom, and
Yes.
that we reviewed in our last episode.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can
Mhm.
take a look at that as well. I'm gonna give it like a couple issues because I'm not just gonna give up on the artist and the writer because, like, dude, I mean, I'm not an artist and a writer. I mean, maybe if this was 20 years ago and I had the talent and the time, but I can't just dog on them and be
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna. I gotta give them a shot to tell their
Yeah.
story, and then I pick and choose from that. So, like, and I even told Crystal, I was like, always, 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 if you're gonna get a book, never judge it off the first issue. Like, you
Yes.
can't. If you
It's
feel
hard.
like
Yeah.
you're gonna like do it, give it like to at least 3. I always push to 5. I know that's like sounds like a lot of
It
waste of money,
can. Yeah, but
but
you never
like
know.
like if you can finish an arc in a book, even though the writing is bad, and I'm gonna tell this for all those people who like to flip comic books, a little bit of an insight: people will buy series before they just buy
Yes.
issues 1 and 2.
Mhm.
So if you're able to like get rid of your books and you want to get someone into books, even if it's not a great story, because personally you didn't enjoy it, but they might
Someone
have,
else might. Yeah.
someone might enjoy it. So
Mhm.
like you take those 5 books and you're like, these weren't that great, but I have the first 5 to get you started. Here you go. And me and Indy did that a few years back
Yeah.
when we were at the amazing Comic-Con in Las Vegas. We actually were on a panel and for our podcast at the time. And I did that. I wanted to give back to like the kids and the people that were listening to our show. And I had went there with God, what did I bring? I brought like a box of comics, didn't I, Indy?
I think it was like a box and a half, really.
And like I was gonna like get some signed by some artists that were there, and then I just didn't have the time with us setting up our schedules and everything. And so I ended up digging through my books, and we did a little Q&A with the fans, and then I ended up handing out books. And I'll never forget this. There was a kid who his dad had brought to come sit into our thing, and I think you remember this, Indy. The dad was like, you know, hey, you guys, I really like enjoy your show and everything. You guys like, you know, I relate to it. I go, hey, that's cool, man. And his kid had answered one of our easy questions. We were throwing out like questionnaires out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and we were like, who's like dumb easy question like who is Batman?
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
it's like
okay.
Bruce Wayne. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no shit. It's like, but
Yeah.
we were giving away free stuff. Like George was giving away some stuff, and the little kid wanted some stuff, and I was like, hey, come here. And I had a couple of books on the table. I said, who's your favorite comic character? And he was like, I think the kid said like he was reading some like Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it
That
was a
sounds
little
right.
girl. And I wanted to keep my books. I'm not gonna lie about this, but if I could get somebody into comic books,
Yeah.
I grabbed all the Harley Quinns I had, and I had everything that was current.
Such
Like
a soft.
Brett, I
kitty.
know I was, and I am like, here you go, these are yours. And there were about 10 or 12 books in that pile, and I was
Damn.
like, that will
Yeah.
get you started on Amanda Connor's run of Harley Quinn. And
Nice.
I'll never forget that because I thought that was a really cool moment. But so I mean, I'm always that guy that's going to tell you read the first, like get the series,
Mhm.
see, let the artist and writer finish telling their story,
Yeah.
because a
Yes.
lot of
That's
times you're
huge.
going to get into there and you're going to be like, well, their first book sucked, and it's like, but it might set up for the second one. So I
Mhm.
dogged on Children of the Atom last week, and like didn't, but I also did say it's not going to stop me from not buying it. I will buy the next issue.
Yeah. Keep checking
But
things out. Yeah.
like same thing with Ultraman. Give it a little bit of a read, okay? So with that, we're gonna move on to
Yeah.
our next book. Damn, we took a lot of time on that one. And I'm scratching myself and shit. So I've got something from DC this week. Brand new book out in stores right now. You can go pick it up, and that is Superman Red and Blue. This story, it took me a minute to get through. Not in a bad way though, okay? But because I didn't realize what I was getting into when I read it. So this was done by Jill Thompson, Wes Craig, I think I'm pronouncing the name right, and as always, guys, I'm gonna fuck names up. Steve Leiber and Clayton Henry. with the writers being, and this one I suck, Margarita Bennett,
Okay.
Dan Waters, Wes Craig, who also did art on one, Brendan Easton, and John Ridley. And as I look down, you guys can see me looking at my notes.
That's all right. Hey, man.
I gotta make notes for this shit.
We're professionals here. You know what I'm saying? We
So there are
gotta do this
five
right.
stories. 5 stories
God
in this
damn.
book. It
That's a
retails.
commitment.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what it retailed at. It was pretty decently priced.
I'm sure it's like $10,
Actually,
right?
it was $6.
Oh, that's not
It was
bad.
$6. You get
That's
5
not
different
bad.
five short stories about Superman. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're really interesting because each one has a different type, and it wasn't what you expected. The first one is about Superman losing his powers in like Russia back in the day during the Cold War,
Oh,
and
God.
like getting in an internment camp and like beat the
Jesus.
shit out of and just fucking punished.
God.
And then he's got to face the guy as Clark Kent because he's doing a report on it, who imprisoned Superman, the strongest person in the world, who could never be stopped. But they found a way to like neutralize his powers.
Right, right.
And they beat the shit out of him, treated him like a slave. I mean, we're talking like an internment camp, World War II-ish, you know. That was just something that caught me out of the film. Like, holy crap, dude! Like, could you imagine having all this strength just sapped away from you, and
that
then
would suck.
you're Superman? So they didn't know he was Clark Kent,
Obviously, yeah.
but and then just being belittled like that, like you're turned into a slave. You're forced to do hard labor. You're barely eating, beat every day. You're pretty much just like, you know, yeah. So that was a very
Wow.
interesting story. I didn't expect
From 10
that.
to 0. Holy crap.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
that's a lot. And that's just story one.
and that's just the first story in the book. The second story is about a kid who saved Superman during a fight. This was really cool because like Superman gets injured in a fight because like again I don't remember the basics in it, but like he was starting out as Superman and he got in over his head and he actually gets laid out and this little kid's trying to help him because only Superman can stop the monster. And the little kid, in his effort in saving Superman while everybody else runs away, this kid is like, no, help me help Superman so he can come back and save our city. Whereas all the people are running for their lives away from this monster. Well, the little kid grabs Superman as they're walking. He ends up losing his hand. And Clark
Jesus.
Kent goes down like years later, finds this kid, and is like, it's an honor to meet you. So you got to read that one. It's a very
That's cool.
heartfelt story.
That is.
The third story, I'm not going to give all of them away because they're really good, but the third story I want to touch on is it shows Clark Kent when he's a kid going to grade school.
Oh, back in Smallville.
Back in Smallville, and
Yep.
it shows him like, you know, him being worried about like, are the kids gonna like me? Are the kids gonna not like me? And it shows like the kids picking on another girl, like excluding her from everything. And Clark goes back to Mom and Pa Kent, and he's like, "Hey, why is this happening?" And like he's got to learn all these things for himself. In doing so, though, they end up like telling him, you know, why don't you be the man to step up and invite her to come play with everybody? You know, so he does that, and then he finds out like this could be my path.
Yeah.
So like the stories in this are great. I definitely recommend it. If you've got the extra $6 and you're out there, go pick this up. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's 5 short stories, super good book. I mean, I'll probably sit down and read it again just to cover some of the other stories.
And I just want to say this is huge because Serge is not a Superman fan. I'm a Superman fan to the point where it's stupid, like it's ridiculous. Serge has always hated the fact that I love it so much. So the fact that like I'm in awe listening to him talk about this right now.
Oh,
hate
did you hear,
Superman.
Chris?
Then you need to read this book then apparently, because he even changed Serge. So I need you to read this now. And Superman Red Sun, because that's like one of the all-time classics.
Yeah, Red Sun is a great book.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like I've kind of changed my view on Superman because like one of my favorite stories of all time, and we're gonna do a throwback on this later on, where we're gonna be covering like older books and stuff, and it's gonna be the death and return of Superman.
Yes.
The death of Superman, the return of Superman, and I want to do the reign of Superman. If you're with me on this, Indy.
Yeah, of course. I own those, man. I'm super down.
So like,
You would.
but like I've always been a fan of that, but I'm more of a fan of Doomsday, the man that.
Oh
killed
yeah,
Superman.
yeah. Of course. Of course.
So like
Of course.
that's kind of my big thing. But no, I mean, this was a good book for Superman fans, and I think if you're looking for something to read, give to someone who's a fan of Superman, this is the perfect book to do it for. It's a lot of short stories, so you can breeze through it, and you don't have to go and collect other ones. But yeah, there's gonna be a few in there that like, I mean, there was one that kind of caught me, that was a bit of a tearjerker.
Oh,
And that's saying something.
those are good.
Um, so when you get to that one, that's the one I don't want to spoil, and I'm not even going to talk about it because I'm going to make you buy the book to read that. That was one of the ones that I'm like, wow, like you get to see the human being, or yeah, the human being that Superman's become.
Right.
Okay.
So like it's super interesting. Even if you're not a Superman fan, this is a great book to read, dude. Just check it out.
Okay.
It's in stores
I'll
right
try
now. You'll fucking read it. It's like,
So,
I will hold their fucking eyes open.
Tape my eyes, it's just like right
Tape
there.
them open.
I
But
think we're
yeah,
gonna
so like
tap into a kind of a big universe here right now, right?
yeah, but
Mhm.
Superman, Red and Blue, check it out. Jill Thompson did it, did some of the artwork in this. So if you don't know who she is, and her name caught me off because all the artists and the writers in this, all over the DC universe, but she stood out to me because she wrote one of the stories, right? And or I'm sorry, she did the artwork on one of the stories.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, why does this look so familiar? Why does the art like it looks better now? But I mean, if you look through the years, and that was because, and I'm on a huge kick right now for it, was the Sandman. Neil Gaiman's The Sandman.
Really?
So like,
Huh.
holy crap, dude. So
Yeah, that's some good
and
stuff.
why I say I'm on a huge kick on it, Indy, is
The
because
show's coming out soon?
not that.
Oh.
If you have not had the chance, people, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've been throwing this down Crystal's
God.
ears for months. The Sandman, the Audible original.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Amazing.
harping
I
at
remember
me.
you actually messaged me about that
Like
one day out of the blue.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, like, dude, it's James McCabe, what's his name?
McAvoy?
Professor X. Yes.
James McAvoy, yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh, he's got a
plays
great voice. Yeah, that'd be
he
good.
plays Dream, dude. And oh my
Oh.
god, just so freaking good. So I don't know. I wanted to throw that out there real quick. So but if you have Audible, go listen to the Sandman.
Nice.
It's worth it. Okay.
All right. I wasn't sure. So, like I was gonna say, we're gonna tap into a much larger universe, far, far away, and talk a little bit about the Crystal. Where are you? Come on, do it. Do it. There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it. We're
So
like
yeah.
messing with our camera background sometimes, guys.
There it is. Yeah, so Star Wars The High Republic. It's been on everybody's mind. It's been at the tip of the tongue, and we've gotten a chance to read it.
Both of us read this.
Yes.
Not.
Of course you haven't.
So I'll go ahead and start with who wrote this, and it was Cavan Scott, and the art by Ario Anandito. So far I'm enjoying it, but I'll let you do some more details on that, Serge, and I'll throw in a couple myself.
So I took a look at issue 1 because I was jumping into the book, and I don't like to give you guys reviews on stuff I'm not like really caught up. Now I know I did do Spider-Man a few weeks ago, and that actually I thought I did a pretty decent job for not knowing what was going on in
Yeah,
the
no,
story and explaining
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
But like normally when I'm telling you to go spend your money on stuff, I want to make sure that I'm covering it just good enough that you're gonna get where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
So I usually do a lot of issue 1s and stuff that is easy to obtain and read. But this one, so I went back and I'm like, okay, issue 3 is out. I picked up 1, 2, and 3 just right off the bat because I've heard great things about the High Republic. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Okay.
Same.
So is Indy. So is Crystal.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, on a daily basis, I still kind of play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my PlayStation.
Oh, so good.
It's a good game.
It is. And so when the High Republic dropped as the comic book, I was like, wait, because I'm a huge also fan. I used to play Knights of the
Old
Old
Republic.
Republic.
Yeah.
And I play the Old Republic MMO. So like this was like, okay, I gotta check this book out. So one of the first things I loved about it was the timeline breakdown.
Yeah, right at the
So
beginning of the book.
right when you pick pick up the book, you flip it open, it's got timeline of Star Wars, and right at the very top is where we're taking place in the High Republic. Now this is years before
The
like
Skywalker
Star
saga.
Wars, like way before Skywalker saga, but this is way before the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we're
Skywalker
going
saga.
like so anybody who's a Star Wars fan is going to be checking these out already if you already haven't. But I loved it because like you start with the main character and she's on her trial
Yeah.
to become a Jedi,
Knight.
a Master Jedi,
Yeah.
Jedi Knight. And you know, previously, like I love that her mentor is what Bosca's race is.
It
And right
is,
now I'm
right?
drawing.
That's what I was trying to make sure, but it
Yeah,
seems
that's
like
what
a
he
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And Jeff's gonna kill me for not knowing what their race is. My
I
buddy
don't
Jeff's gonna kill me
know.
because he's like, you should know their race if you're talking about it.
He's
And I'm gonna be like,
Boskians? I'm not sure, man.
No, Bosk is the name of the bounty hunter. You
I know,
jackass.
but that's what I'm gonna say. Well, yeah, he's
But
Boskian. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
her master's race, and
Yes.
you know, it's really interesting
To see a
dynamic
Jedi
between the
like
two.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't see them often. But I mean, just because you don't see them, everything was a Jedi. Just because you're a certain race in the Star Wars universe doesn't make you automatically drawn to the dark side.
Right.
Uh, um, so I mean, I enjoyed the book. What are you laughing at? He's over here snickering at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Nothing. Just go on.
So like as she's doing her trial, some things come up and they're introducing like I guess the Jedi are making this beacon in the center of the universe
Yeah.
on the outer rim, which is at this point in the universe the farthest they've traveled
That's what I'm
to the outer
understanding. Yeah.
to the outer rim. So they go out there and some things are happening. Again, we do light spoilers in there, but not a lot. And she does her trial, and I mean overall solid. The the writing is solid, and the artwork is great for a Star Wars book because I don't know why, but I don't see a lot of like people drawing onto the Star Wars books who have done like a lot of things, and like it doesn't get like it seems like their Star Wars covers don't get as much as attention if it doesn't have like Darth Maul or something in it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
characters that are well known.
Yeah.
If
The
it's not on the
draw.
cover, they're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
like
this character, so I'm not going to read
like
it.
we all know the Vader books sold great. We know
Yeah.
the Darth Maul books sold great. There are a few people out there, but there are so many more Star Wars books out there that don't sell because you just don't know about them or like they're not pushed because like, oh well, this takes place and this is what I can't stress enough for you guys is this takes place so far ahead of all these characters that you know from the movies or the series or the Clone Wars or anything like that that you're like, I don't know who these are, so you're not invested. Much like a lot of people might not read Dr. Alpha, which is a great book,
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
but if you don't know who the character is, you're just like, no, I know I don't
Yeah.
really care and I'm not too invested.
No idea.
See what I mean?
Yeah. And she comes out of Vader. There was a couple
Right.
issues where Vader, and then they were like, "Oh, let's write a book about her," and it's great, and people aren't jumping
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
But like it's you know, but if I was to put a book out and be like, oh, this is the story of Luke and like the
Oh,
badass version of
hotcakes.
Luke we got in Dark Horse,
Yeah.
it would sell out in record time,
Yeah.
in minutes. But we don't get that. And so like High Republic, you have to take it with you know, a tablespoon of salt because you're like, give it a chance, guys.
Yeah, it's all
'Cause
new.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it, Indy? Because that's me talking about it. I want to hear your thoughts on it, man.
I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was a fresh take. It's kind of it's in especially with the main character, which Keeve I think was her name. Keeve, yeah.
Yeah.
She's really relatable. She's not a perfect Jedi. You know what I mean? The moment we meet her, she's an apprentice trying really hard to impress her master, and like questioning everything she does. We're used to Jedi kind of like either being really horrible, like turning to the dark side type people who are like paranoid and saying bullshit, or really stoic, knows what they are gonna do. Even if you go back to Phantom Menace, like young Obi-Wan is super confident, and you're like, oh, he's cool or whatever. but we see a Jedi who's questioning what she's doing. She's not really sure of things. She's looking around and she's trying to figure it all out. But you can see that she's a good person. And then you get a lot of like the beeline stories that are going on, like something's up with her master, and that's kind of interesting. And I did go
Oh
on and
yeah.
read a couple more of the books. I went down to 2 and 3, and
Okay.
things really start to escalate. And
Oh
you're like,
wow.
oh man, there's going to be some consequences here, and I want to find out what those things are. And like we said, we're not really ones to like reveal everything, and especially since this book is really early in its life, and I know it was a little bit highly anticipated because this is the new verse, right, that we're getting for Star Wars as far as what Disney's putting out now as canon.
Right. And now it's like back under the Marvel title.
Yeah, which is I think is still a good move. I think even though Dark Horse has some great stuff,
Oh God! If you
um,
ever get a chance, go
yeah,
read the Dark Horse
absolutely.
Legacy, the Star Wars Legacy stuff.
And to
It'll
this
it'll change
point,
you on
yeah,
Star Wars.
exactly. To this point, with everything that's come out, I still feel like the legacy stuff as a whole is better. But after reading these books, I think there's definitely uh, some potential. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And one thing I want to say is like Marvel is like taking that approach now because they're like, well, we do have this like huge library, and now we can do everything with Star Wars because so it's like, yeah, maybe we're gonna take a script from the what Dark Horse did and start doing that, and
Yeah,
that really seems like what they're doing.
I feel like it. Yeah,
So I just yeah, like I'm blown away. I'm definitely gonna check out issues 2 and 3. I have them here. I just haven't sat down and read them like you did. Um, but I'm gonna check it out. So I'm ready for issue 4 to drop, and I'll
yeah,
definitely
same.
we'll probably be taking a look at it since me and you are both on
Oh
issues
yeah.
3. So I mean, yeah, we'll take a look at those and we'll let you know what to think. But we're not done with Star Wars
No,
yet,
we're
guys.
not.
Because Indy, unlike me, who's been putting it off because I'm an idiot apparently, and Indy will explain why in about 20 seconds. Um, I've been putting it off, and Indy, you read something else from Star Wars that
Yeah, and
I took a look at and fucked up.
it's a couple issues in now, well, more than a couple. We're like up to issue 10. But it's kind of what led me to believe that I can take the risk on High Republic when
Ooh,
that came out, and it's Star
ooh,
Wars Bounty Hunters, and it's set more in the time that we all know, right between the events of the Battle of Hoth and the end of Empire Strikes Back. Up to this
okay.
point, we get kind of glimpses throughout the books that this is happening at that time. Like you see Solo in some Carbonite because Boba Fett might or have a couple run-ins with some of our main characters. Right from the beginning in issue 1, I'm gonna do kind of an over-encompassing thing, and I'll get to 10. But in the beginning, nothing but action.
Wow.
You get an
Wow.
assault on a base and all this crazy stuff's happening, and I'm not even talking about really seeing the empire or anything. I'm talking about bounty hunters versus like villainy and scum. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's
Wow.
it's just from top to bottom action, and then you get some really cool human moments, and as you go along you really get to learn who this character is. And I didn't know this, but the main character, who's I don't know if I say his first name right, but it's Bill
Probably
Beal.
not. Fucking Star
Yeah, I
Wars
know.
shit.
Beal Wright
Bill Wright.
Valance.
We'll just
I
call him
got
Bill
the
Wright.
second name right, Valance. I just say Valance because that's way easier.
There you go.
And as you find out that this dude is like Darth Vader to the max as far as like his body, because he is pretty much just a cyborg. Um, and as you watch
Except his
him,
head.
what's up?
Except his head, or what?
No, everything. Like
Oh,
he's only
so he's
got
just
like maybe an arm or a leg that's legit, and then
okay.
everything is robotic cyborg conditioning with human stuff.
Okay.
And the best way I can describe the book is if Terminator had emotions and just kept getting into bad situations that he had to get himself out of. And it's awesome. And then there's still some heart in the book with other characters and stuff like that, but honestly, in the end, this is an action book where you're going to enjoy all the beautiful visual stuff. You get Star Wars stuff that connected to other Star Wars stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm honestly having a lot of fun connecting the dots. um,
That's part of the
but yeah,
joy. Like that is
yeah,
always the
it's a
part
fun
of the
book.
joy of reading like some of those books. Part of the joy is of like um whereas I like the stuff where it's not tied into the Star Wars
Right.
lore that we have already. Like so, like High Republic is better for me, whereas like Bounty Hunters would sit kind of like right here. If High
Hmm.
Republic's here, here,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
A scale of degrees.
so like, because I like the old Republic stories because you don't have anything to base those off of. I don't have to
Right.
connect a shitload of dots to understand that. So like, reading Bounty Hunters, I would be like, okay, so I've got to go and like makes it like one of the things that would be cool about that is like it makes you want to go and read this and see if there's any name drops or hints to that. But like, it sounds like it's probably personally left out because they're just sliding it in there, like they're wedging it into that timeline,
Yeah.
and they're not.
Well,
It-
Bounty
it's
Hunters kind of sound like more of like something that I would read.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I think you would
like,
definitely
if the
enjoy it.
action fan. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see
Yeah.
you reading that. But it's like you said, it's a story that I slept on. But if it's all action, I'll probably enjoy it. I do intend to read it.
I think you should.
I think that might be a book that I like since like what they're like issue 10 now.
Issue 10, yeah.
So that probably be a book where I'm like, oh, I'll just get the first volume when it's ready.
Yeah, and it'd be totally worth it because I mean, you're gonna save yourself a little money and you still get everything I got. So
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, and then I'm like, I can just binge read it because
Yeah.
that's what volumes are for us guys. They're
Exactly.
if you can't wait, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, if you're watching it each episode at a time, and you don't want to do that, just wait till the series is done and then
Yeah.
go watch it, like people do
Just
with the
take you like a
Mandalorian and all
month
that.
and a half.
Yeah, so like don't be like me and be like, I want more now and I can't.
But I just want to sneak into Ethan Sachs is the writer and Paulo Viahelli is the artist, and again, writing and art on that is pretty solid too. Get a lot of details. I love details. It really kind of sucks you into the book.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like I love the Star Wars lore, so like anything Star Wars, I'll read. I've slept on Dr. Alpha, but one of the things I do want to throw out is like, yes, I do go to comic book stores and I do support my local comic book store. However, I do also subscribe to my digitals. I do subscribe to Marvel Unlimited and I do subscribe to DC, the DC Infinite.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I do enjoy having that ability to go through my backlog, and I'm not paid by them in any means. I pay for the stuff out of my own pocket, so it's not like I get a free subscription to it. But part of the thing I enjoy is like I can go look at these. So for like something like Dr. Alpha that's already 16, 15 books in, I can go back and read these because even though like Marvel Unlimited and DC Unlimited have or DC Infinite have these delays where books aren't out for 6 months and then books aren't out for 3 months after they're on comic book shelves because they want you to go to the store. They're still giving that business to the comic book store, but like this is great for people in other countries who don't have access to that comic store, who don't have that local retailer near them, and unfortunately even you can't even get mail there. So they give you this ability to like, hey, like go in and read your backlogs and you can do a lot of that. And so they're great apps. They can definitely be improved upon.
Yeah.
Um,
And then on the go,
but
it's nice to, oh man, I got a
it's
little
nice,
time. I'll just read, you know?
you're on that bus drive and you left your books
Yeah,
at home. Hey, I can
exactly.
flip through something new. But I mean, that's probably where I'll read like Dr. Alpha. You can read the first couple of issues of Bounty Hunters is on there right now. I know that.
Yeah.
So that being said, there are always different ways to do your reading. So always look into that. But I mean, as always, support your local comic shops. Especially like in times like this, like the whole COVID thing and everything. You want to make sure you're doing all that stuff. So,
Exactly.
But yeah, Bounty Hunters was definitely one I wanted to check out, man, because
Fun book for
I
sure.
don't know. I don't know why I slept on it for so long.
Yeah, it happens.
But it happens. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap us.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Wow,
I think it's a
we're
pretty
definitely-
good to say. We even got the old Crystal Roy to read a book there.
Yeah, we did.
Wow, look at that.
And
Look at that.
actually, a little spoiler for our next episode.
Yes.
She's going to be coming back and looking at the book that Indy took a look at last week, and that's Noctera, because she went out, bought it, checked it out, and
So it's working. The
actually like
podcast is working.
we're a show now.
It's
Not
a show.
podcast
It's a
anymore.
show. The show is working. People are buying books.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as always, guys, we appreciate you guys. If you stayed to the end of this video, we ran a little bit longer than we did, but we're
Yeah.
still working on getting things figured out. especially because me, Indy, and Crystal here are all new to the YouTube channel. So if you liked us, please subscribe. As always, turn on notifications so whenever we upload a new video,
Hit that
you
like.
can get you can like it, you can share it. If there's anything that you guys want us to look at, because we will be looking at past, present, and future books in this podcast. Not that we can see into the future, but
If only we could.
oh my god, it'd be great. But if you have anything, leave them in that. Leave comments down in the comments. Leave comments down in the comments. Yeah, that's how that works, right?
I mean, it's the only way I would say it.
And let us know if there's any sagas, books, anything you want us to take a look at, and we will do our damnedest to try to read that.
Yes.
Take a look at it, give us our thoughts on it, and whether it's worth it to go pick up a compendium, a volume, a trade paperback, whatever. Let us know if you guys like what we're doing or how we can improve. And yeah,
Yes,
that's
feedback. Definitely need feedback.
and share us with your friends. If you're trying to get someone in the comics, maybe they might like listening to us because
Maybe.
We'll try.
I
We'll
mean-
try to
I don't know,
convince
we
them.
try. But yeah, so that's gonna do it from us. I'm Serge. That's Indy. Crystal's behind me on the voice.
Yep.
And as always, guys,
Keep on reading.